I just exited a trade. I made $30,445, and I'm going to show you the strategy that I used to make this profit. Now, come over to here on my screen. This is Micron. So Micron, you're probably thinking, wow, he must have gone long on this thing. No, guys, I went short on this thing. So I bet against this company, and you can see on my screen this big trend down here, this big trend down, that you have to be confident in shorting. There is a lot of money to be made when stocks are falling. That's the big thing about what I do. Anybody can go long. You can go long, but if you have the confidence to go short, and I know there's going to be people out there saying, oh, shorting's super risky, nobody should be shorting. I agree. There's unlimited losses. But if you have stops in place and you have a method to the madness, put stops in there. You're not going to lose all your money. It's very, very simple. Know where your resistance points are. So let's start with what we did here with Micron. I entered this thing at about $127.49. That was right up here. Now, why did I enter up here? What was the reasoning for it? Well, a couple of things. Number one, I'm always paying attention to when a stock is going to enter the sweet spot for 3 days. We need to be between 80% and 32% with our red and yellow line for 3 days before I can make any entry point. Then I looked and said, all right, where are my support levels? Where is this stock going to kind of sputter out at? And that was right in here. So I said, when we drop below this yellow line that I drew with an engulfing candlestick, I'm going to enter it. What happened? Boom, engulfing candlestick, entered the stock. Now we are on our way. Now, really, if I wanted to, I could make this really simple and get rid of this. And I don't even have to look at candles anymore because then it's all about trend. I don't care if we get snapbacks in there, which we did in some cases, but I got lucky the next day, had this big fall in price, and I was like, okay, well, I looked like a genius there. That was not even close to the end of the trade. So as this thing kept falling, what happens when a stock price just continues to fall down with its trend? Well, the actual price starts to fall. And that's when I was like, all right, I'm going to stick with this, and then I'm going to be ready to take profits in certain places. Now, what exactly is taking profits? Taking profits is, to me, let's say I invest $100,000 into this trade, and it gets down to a certain point, and let's say that I'm just going to make up a number. I'm going to sell at $80 a share. So I want to take my profits off the table. I'm going to take $20,000 off. I'm going to take my profit off the table if I'm up 20%, and I'm just going to have $80,000 in there, and that's going to be the rest of my ride. Why? Playing with house money at that point. I'm running into a resistance point. So there's reasons why I'm taking those profits, not just saying I'm up a lot of money, I'm going to take them. No, I'm looking at this saying, okay, where can I start to take profits? Could I have taken profits right in here? Because you had this gap that needed to fill, and you also had to have these strong support levels. Actually, you had a couple of days of consolidation. Could I have taken profits in there? Yes, I could have. But when I entered this trade up here, I said, I always go in with a plan. I look and say, all right, where am I going to be taking profits? Where is my goal to exit this trade? Well, my goal to exit this trade and my thesis was, okay, yes, we're going to get hung up here, which we did for a few days, but I want to fill this gap. Gaps typically fill. And if we go to a line chart real quick, why do gaps fill? Gaps fill because you have these flagpoles. So when you have a stock that just goes straight up for a number of days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, it could go up for, I've seen it go up for 15 days in a row. What does that mean? Well, there's no support in there. So just as easily as it goes up, it's going to come down probably even easier, which is important in shorting. So I said that gap is going to fill, which it did fill. So as soon as we started to get down and start filling this gap down here, that's when I started to consider taking profits. So my first profit taking place, I want to get you an exact number here. My first profit taking place was $92.70. Let's pinpoint it right around here. You can see we filled the gap. We really filled the gap. And I said, all right, everything that I've wanted to do on this trade has been accomplished. We broke through the support level. We filled the gap. Now we're getting down to, and let me zoom this out, we're getting down to an area where I'm a little bit apprehensive of where we're going to go. And we started to get right around here, right around there. And if you just zoom, you notice I zoomed the chart back. Look at this. You had a lot of consolidation in here. That was in 2021-22. This was in 2020 and 21. You have to use the chart. Use the left side of your chart. Use the context clues that it's giving you. I said, all right, we filled that gap. We did everything I wanted to get. Let's take profits off the table here. This was a very, very big profit-taking area. So I sold a lot of shares there, took my profits out of the table, but I let the thing run. And look what happened here, guys. This is the most important part of this trade, okay? This thing snapped back. Pay attention to our trend. Our long-term trend did not change. But what happened to the price? It went from, let's give you some accurate numbers here. It went from here, which was $86. I'm going to use whole numbers. And it ran up to $111. That's a lot of money that I gave back, right? But why did I not exit the trade? Why can you not just pay attention to price action here? Why do you have to trust the trend? Because the trend didn't tell me to exit the trade. This was still a really, really good downtrend. This was just nothing but a snapback. There was a lot of volatility in the market at this point. I said, I'm not exiting this. It's actually getting better. You can see that the width between the red and yellow lines here is actually getting better. I stayed in it. It came right back down. It actually surpassed that level just by a touch, and my exit point was back down around here. Then I said, once I get back to this level, where I took profits, I'm going to exit it. I made maybe $1 more than when I took my profits. But the point of this all is, don't worry about the snapback if the trend is with you. That's one of the most important things to take away from this video. Snapbacks are always going to happen. Really, really good traders are going to stay in a stock even when a snapback is happening, if the trend tells them to stick with it. Remember that the trend is your friend. Now, you may be looking at this saying, oh, how did you find this? How did you find this stock? I actually found this from a community member. This was during a live stream that we do with the community, gave me this. And also, just today, there's a guy in the community that made an 8% on a quick Tesla trade. He got in it last night, told the community got in it, exited this morning during our live stream. So these trades happen frequently in our community. I just got in another stock this morning. I took a 20% position in a shipping company this morning going short because I do have a thesis that it's going to come down. These are the types of things that happen in our community. Guys, there's only a few spots left in the Patreon right now. So click on the link in the description below, join it, try it out. You're absolutely going to love it. You're going to get a lot of access to trades like this. You're going to get my chart set up. You're going to have, the most important thing to me is having the conversation with the community members that give everybody ideas of looking at CCL, looking at shipping companies, looking at oil companies. Everybody has their own little niche of what they like, but we can bring all of our minds together and make some money. Now, I want to share with you guys another video and another strategy where I made a lot of money on a specific trade. Watching this next video will help you learn to become a better trader.